Paul Dobson, who is a journalist at Venezuela Analysis. He joins us from Merida. Paul, the opposition is boycotting the election, as I said. Is this a clear win then for Maduro, and does this spell the end of Guaido?
Not at all. I think we have to be very clear about this. There is a section of the opposition which is boycotting the election. But this is represents one of the 4 different opposition blocs which currently exist in Venezuela. There are over 70 different opposition parties running in this election with their candidates. They've been included in the national debates on national TV, and they presented their proposals to the country. There are over 107 parties running in this election, of which only 8 currently support the government. So this is one of the elections, in fact, where we see a greatest level of diversity in the ballot card in recent years. Also, we're seeing a break-off group from the left, which is challenging the government candidates as well on the Communist Party ballot for the first time in Venezuela's recent history. So we can essentially say there's 5 different options for Venezuelans who adhere to the ballots during the process of today. There's a lot going on, and whereas it's more than likely the government candidates will win a majority, the diversity of the candidates presented in the country is certainly very positive for democracy here.
So why is this election so important? And given that we essentially already know the outcome, does it really matter?
Venezuela's National Assembly, one of the most important of the 5 powers of state in the country, has been essentially illegal for the last 4 years due to a number of unconstitutional decisions it's tried to take. And it's very important that the country retakes the institutional path starting today, which will be installed on January the 5th with the new National Assembly, so we can start to see legislation being passed which addresses the ongoing economic and social crisis which the country is living through.
And what's going to happen after the election? Because the country is still in economic crisis. What's the future looking like for Venezuela?
Well, this obviously depends quite a lot on who wins the election, who wins the majority. There are 2 commonplace scenarios. One whereby the government candidates win a large majority and will also then impose the government's policies. But it's also likely that we see, for example, this break-off left-wing faction winning a certain number of deputies in the National Assembly and being able to voice a different alternative left-wing voice in the National Assembly. And of course, we're going to see a great number of right-wing deputies in the National Assembly as well, which will be presenting their policies as well. So I don't think there's any clear-cut nature about this at all. We will see the results later on tonight or early tomorrow morning. And of course, we'll be looking forward straight away towards the elections next year, which will be elections number 27 and 28 in the last 21 years of Venezuela's history, where local mayors and governors will also be elected.
All right, we'll leave it there. Paul Dobson, thank you.